Every day, thousands of people hit the road heading towards their dreams. But sometimes those dreams collide with a harsh reality. Auto accidents with 18-wheelers can change lives in an instant. That's why you need the experience and expertise of St. Martin & Bork. With over 50 years of experience, St. Martin & Bork have fought for justice for the victims of truck accidents.
If you've been in a wreck with an 18-wheeler, know your rights.
Call St. Martin & Bork today to schedule your free consultation.
Everybody, welcome into Bayou Time. Harry McCullough here. One of the hidden jewels of Terrebonne Parish is the library downtown. There's so many things to do over there, and they got a great event coming up on Saturday, October 5th. It's the Jambalaya Writers Conference, and it's going to be a big event. They got some big speakers. They got keynote speakers. They got anybody that's interested in being a writer down the road. The written word is so good. The spoken word's awesome as well. But it's a good way to learn about your craft and to go do other things as far as, working on movies down the road, all of those kind of things. It's a great way to learn. And they got some great speakers, including Maurice Carlos Ruffin, who is going to be the keynote speaker at 4 p.m. Here to talk more about it is Stephanie Chasson. She's with the Adult Services Coordinator and Friends of the Library Liaisons at the library. We were just saying, what an awesome jewel, and what a just a credit to our community to have that library there with these kind of events.
Absolutely. And so many things that we do are free and available to the public, including the Writers Conference.
Yeah.
There's no registration required this year and no fee to enter.
All right, let's talk a little bit about it. Jambalaya Writers Conference. How long have we been doing this?
This is our 19th annual Writers Conference, and quite a while.
So who are we thinking? So who is this helping, right? So anybody who wants to be a writer, which there have been quite a few from around our area that people like to write,
Yes.
but you can learn how to hone your craft a little bit, right?
Absolutely. We've, in the 19 years that we've been doing this, we've had several attendees get book deals during the writing conference. Basically, they've been able to make connections and get their books published in the meantime. But you also have a chance to get your writing looked at and edited by a publisher, an editor, and learn some new methods on publishing or writing that you may need just to help push you along a little bit.
Right, whether it be books, short story, poetry, screenplays, those kind of things. You could learn all those kind of things because it all seems easy, right? I'm talking, I should be able to just write it down. But there's an art to it and there's a form to it, and I even like that you're having like it's an American Idol. It's called First Page American Idol, where even the people that come there can submit things and they'll be judged by these actual writers, right?
Yes, that is one of our most popular events that we have. Our attendees can submit their first page or a poem, and our library director, Miss Mary LaBeouf Cosper, will read them out loud, and 4 of our presenters will give a oral critique on it.
Right. But there's no Simon that's going to rip you apart, right?
No, only positive.
No, I'm just joking. But so it'll be October 5th, and it's Saturday, and it starts at 12 p.m. with the registration. There's a welcome. There's 6 sessions, the idol contest that we were talking about, the keynote, and then the Sunset Social, so you'll be able to talk to everybody and get to know more.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about the keynote speaker and Maurice Carlos Ruffins. The Ruffins is a pretty popular name. I don't know if he's related to the Ruffin.
It's a pretty local name.
But can you talk a little bit more about him and what he's done?
He has presented at our conference before. He's very popular. He recently came out with a book called The American Daughters. It was set in New Orleans in Reconstruction time. So he's going to be discussing his journey for writing and how long it took him to get where he was and how he didn't give up on that
Right.
that dream.
That's one of those things, you work for 30 years, become an overnight sensation, right?
Absolutely.
But he's got a couple of books out for sure. New York Times Editor's Choice, Ernest Gaines Award for Literary Excellence. So he's got a lot of thing on his resume. What's he known for as far as speaker? Is it a style or anything like that?
He's known for making Louisiana a center of his work, which is kind of the overall theme we were going for this year, is making Louisiana the center. And so he works with the New Orleans. He never explicitly says New Orleans in his book, but you can imagine the
you
city
can feel the
while you're
humidity,
reading.
right, when he's reading.
Absolutely.
you can feel it. And there's certain people, Anne Rice seemed to be that way too, right? You just knew what she was talking
Absolutely.
about. And going back. What about writing? Do people still want to go into it? I know we type a lot more, right? We write on Twitter in 120 characters, but do people want to write more now?
Oh, absolutely. Going back to our first page, American Idol, we probably won't be able to get through all of the submissions because I think in our community, we are a storytelling community, and everybody wants to share the story that has been passed down, and they want to include the new ones of their own.
Yeah.
And I love that about our community.
Yeah, that's a great thing, especially about this community. When you talk about the Native Americans going back, all the way back to the indigenous people, they have a history, but it was all written, or it wasn't written. It was all verbal, but it had to be remembered and passed down, which is also a form of writing. I know it's not officially writing, but it's the same. It's history. It's those kind of things, which nowadays maybe a TikTok or those kind of things. But it's still writing. It's still expressing your way. It's still getting your thoughts together and doing those kind of things.
Yes, and a lot of our presenters are going to be able to help show you how to gather your thoughts together and present them to where other people can benefit from them.
Right, and that's so important because you think you know what you're doing, but then you get in the middle of it and you go, well, I need to edit this down. It's a great way. So we're going to take a break. We're going to talk more about the overall Jambalaya Writers Conference when we come back right here on Bayou Time.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.
Everybody, welcome back to Bayou Time. Harry McCullough here. We're speaking with Stephanie Chasson. We're talking about the Jambalaya Writers Conference. It's October 5th on Saturday. It'll be at the not downtown library, but at the Civic Center Library. What do you guys call it?
We call it the main library.
The main library. I grew up next door to the library that was downtown at one time. Probably wasted me going in there. Anyway, this is the flyer. We talked about Maurice Carlos Ruffin, but some of the other presenters got a pretty cool resume as well. Tell me about some of those guys.
So one of the first ones that's going to present is Falwell Dunbar. Like I said, we have a Louisiana theme going. He is from the North Shore, and he's written a lot of articles on education, and he wrote a memoir. Not very famous, and wrote a memoir, and we can't wait to discuss that with him. But he has a lot of advice on publishing.
Yeah. Ernest Fondas is next.
Ernest,
he's a chef, right?
He is a chef and a lawyer outside of New Orleans. Very unique in his Soujanerie. Very unique restaurant. Squid Ink Rice, I highly recommend.
Yeah.
But he is in the process of writing a cookbook right now.
Right.
And he has a lot of his menu is sourced from his own farm.
Right. Right.
So,
and chef and writing go along they seem to go hand in hand.
You would think
Obviously,
that.
yeah, we've seen Anthony Bourdain, who really took it to a new level with
He did.
Confidential, and then of course his shows, travel and shows.
Yes.
But he did a good job of using writing to pull together history with food, culinary food, and doing a good job with that. So we have Helmstein.
He is the editor-in-chief at the
Or is that
UNO.
Emelstein? I'm sure.
He's the editor-in-chief at UNO, and I read The Gospel According to Moses, Let Us Die in New Ways. I read that one. Very interesting voice. So he's going to be doing some editor sessions and some pitch sessions for us. So you can bring your work and pitch it to him.
Tales of Punk Rock, I see there at the
I
end.
have not gotten a chance to get that one yet.
That'll be great. So yeah, the next one's a guy from Houma, right? And he's an electrician, but he does work, and the way it works for him, he also writes screenplays and then works in New Orleans for the film industry.
Yes, and he's done a lot of work for a lot of
And you say
big
Stove?
films. I'm saying Stove. I'll find out Saturday.
Brandon, yeah.
Please correct us, Brandon. So yes, he's a screenwriter. His movie just came out, Dear Kate. It's available on Prime. And he directed and wrote that. So he's going to tell us how that transition went from having a screenplay to putting it in action.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, I saw a 22-year-old guy from Houma do a screenplay and actually made it into a movie. That's Martin back in the day with Terror in the Swamp.
yes,
But it's like, what are you
absolutely.
doing? You can't make a movie. And it sure did.
And he did.
It's still around. So yeah, that's how you do those things for sure. So Adrian Van Young.
Adrian Van Young has also been to our Jambalaya Writers Conference prior. He is a professional editor in addition to an author. He has a very unique voice in his writing. And so he's going to be doing an editing sessions for us, 4 editing sessions with the lucky people who sign up. And he's also going to be a critic for the First Page American Idol contest.
Yeah, pretty cool. And look, maybe the most important thing about writing is editing, right? I mean, David Chase, who did The Sopranos, I just watched a documentary on him, and he was saying, all right, the first 5 ideas, y'all give them to me, and then we're throwing them out. And then we're going to go, right. And that was his process. It became torturous for him. He kind of grew into Tony Soprano, right? But it was still great to watch him work, and he's been awesome at a lot of things he does.
Absolutely.
But it was the editing that made his work so good. So who's Emma Wells?
Emma C. Wells is a new up-and-coming author whose book will be released soon called This Girl's a Killer. She's from Baton Rouge area. She was also attended our Jambalaya's Writers Conference as an attendee prior. This is going to be her first book. She's very excited to do a giveaway. And she has a little Southern Louisiana theme going on in her book also.
Yeah. I love it. And anti-heroes seems like I just talked about Tony Soprano is an anti-hero who you also
Absolutely.
feel about. Walter White, those kind of people are so interesting. You know, you end up pulling for the bad guy, and but we're all grown up enough to realize good work. It doesn't always have to end with a honeymoon,
Absolutely.
right? So it's awesome. So what about the workshop? So what happens in that Southern Writers Workshop?
Our Southern Writers Workshop is a group that the library hosts to help local writers write in a group. And there's several members that have gone up and down. They meet once a month on the, I think the second Thursday of the month at 7:00. And they compare each other's work. They self-critique. They have published works. And it's just really nice to get somebody else's point of view on your work.
Yeah, that's really good. And as you were saying, the First Page American Idol, to be part of that, is that you submit it anonymously. They read it And then they give notes that way, which is an awesome way to learn, because you got to work with other people, obviously, as you go. And well, I guess if you're just writing a book, you don't, I guess. But if you do screenplays or those kind of things, you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it is a great event. So it'll be October 5th. It'll be at the library that's over there by the Civic Center. And the conference overview, you can see the list of things that. So you walk in at noon and you'll be done by 5 or 6. But it'll be an awesome day, and for any future writers, this is the place to be.
Absolutely.
So thanks so much for being with us, Stephanie. We'll have a good time on Saturday.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back with more Bite Time right after this.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights.